Step back in time with this beautifully restored original sound and colorized version of the Northwestern States, 1942, by Encyclopaedia Britannica Films. Remember, colorization is only a creative approximation of how the scenes might have looked in color. There is no technology that can accurately determine the real colors from a black and white film. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more restored classics. Now, immerse yourself in this vivid journey through history and watch the past come to life before your eyes. Enjoy the adventure.
The Northwestern States of America are bounded by the Middle States, the Southwestern and Far Western States, and the Canadian provinces of British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. The peaks and ranges of the Rockies interrupt the western plateau of the region, which, except for a lower eastern fringe, is more than 2,000 feet above sea level, with large areas above 5,000 feet. Rainfall in the northwest is not great. This shaded area receives, on average, less than 16 inches annually. Of the 7 drainage areas, the Missouri River is the largest. The native animal and plant life is varied. On the plains, prairie grass, cottonwood trees, and prairie dogs. On the higher plateaus, sagebrush, and in the mountains, pine forests, bears, and other large game animals. Settlement of the Northwest began after 1850. Immigrants came from other parts of the United States, from Canada, and from Europe. All were attracted by the free land. But population is still not dense. Each symbol represents 500,000 people. The rural population far exceeds the urban. In the 9 northwestern states, only 5 cities have a population of more than 100,000. Omaha, Kansas City, Wichita, Denver, and Salt Lake City. Summer tourist and holiday travel brings thousands to the Northwest each year. To Glacier Park with its glacier-fed lake. To the geysers of Yellowstone Park. To the Grand Teton Mountains. For anglers, trout are plentiful in the mountain streams. Outdoor pleasures are many, and the tourist industry profitable. Arterial roads are the principal means of connecting otherwise isolated rural areas. Several transcontinental railways to reach the Pacific coast. Airlines spanning the northwestern states provide a more express means of transport. Early prospectors found gold, which is still mined in South Dakota, Colorado, and Utah. Silver, 3/4 of the national supply, comes from Idaho, Utah, Colorado, and Montana. A half of the United States lead is extracted in the Northwest. And Utah and Montana produce a half of the nation's copper. This copper mine shows the magnitude of mining operations. The The Northwest States yield a certain amount of petroleum. Bituminous coal and lignite beds underlie much of the region. These coal cars represent the relative coal production by states. Much of the virgin woodland covering large tracts of the mountains is being conserved within national forests, which are lumbered under strict regulation. The white pine forest of Idaho is the largest in the world and gives work to many in the felling, the transport, and the thawing of the white pine logs into lumber. Cattle ranching was the first type of farming in the region and is still the most important, supplying nearly 1/3 of the beef cattle of the United States. Some of the cattle are taken to packing centers within the region, but a great number go to towns in the Middle States and are subsequently distributed as beef to the United States and to Europe. Sheep graze the plateaus between the mountain ranges. The Northwest raises 1/3 of the nation's sheep and lamb and provides more than 1/3 of its wool. Wheat is the most important cash crop. 1/3 of the nation's winter wheat grows in the region centered around Kansas. More than 3/4 of the spring wheat in the area around North Dakota. On the extensive wheat farms, the crops are planted and harvested by machine. Combine harvesters are widely used. The grain, after it has been separated from the chaff, is taken to the local grain elevator for storage or shipment to the flour mills. Some wheat goes to small milling centers within the region, but the bulk goes by rail to Minneapolis or by boat to Buffalo. The flour finds its way to every part of the United States and to Europe. The Great Corn Belt extends into Nebraska, South Dakota, and Kansas. Much of the crop of Indian corn, or maize, is harvested green for cattle fodder or for silage. The Northwest is the source of half of the nation's rye, used for making bread, whiskey, and animal fodder. Flax is cultivated for the seeds that yield linseed oil. Part of the hay harvest from alfalfa is baled and shipped to other regions. As much of the cultivated land receives only between 8 and 20 inches of annual rainfall, much of the agriculture is by dry farming. The soil lies fallow every second year and is frequently turned to conserve moisture for the next year's crops. In the plateau areas of the Northwest, the government has developed irrigation schemes which enable the land to support some orchards and much sugar beet. The trading centers of the Great Plains are small towns. This one is characteristic with its tall grain elevators, its livestock pens, its busy shopping center. The local school is an important institution in the Plains town and leads the way to the State University and the State Agricultural College. The Northwest depends upon other regions of the United States for all kinds of manufactured articles, farm machinery, implements, clothing, and nearly all fruits and vegetables. The 9 states send out their own vast surplus of foodstuffs to the rest of the country and to the world. Their beef cattle, their sheep, and most notable, their grain products. The broad, fertile plains of the Northwest are appropriately named the breadbasket of the nation.
If you've enjoyed this journey through time and wish to stay informed about our new nostalgic content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell. If this nostalgia train has truly touched your heart, show us some love by giving us a like and sharing this video with your friends. Thanks for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you on our next time-traveling adventure.